From a multiplicity of undivulged locations in the Southern California region of the good old US of A, it's time once again for the long shot, come hell or high water. Tonight's episode, the Prime Rib Chunk Bowl. And now, please welcome the host of the long shot, Sean Conroy. All right. Thank you. Good afternoon. Good desk. Welcome to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. We are together again, come hell or high water. It is the day after Christmas. I am the host of the podcast. My name is Sean Conroy. With me today on the show, none other than the inestimable Joe Wagner is here.
Hello, listeners.
Yes. And of course,
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. And also with us today, Amber Kenny is here.
Hello.
And of
Merry
course,
Christmas.
the occasional stop by from the great Jamie Flam.
He's back.
Merry Christmas. I wouldn't miss a
back.
Christmas episode.
For how long? Who's? Yes, that's right. It is the day after Christmas, which is exciting. Or I guess the day
Boxing
after
Day.
Christmas is not. Yes, Boxing Day.
Right.
My next door neighbor, who I don't think I've ever spoken to in my entire life, said to me when I saw him on the landing just now, he was like, "Happy Boxing Day."
It's nice. He must be Canadian.
And you slugged him.
Boom.
Boom.
How happy are you now, pal? So everybody have a good Christmas?
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Next.
By the way, the last time that happened was when Sean was like, "So how'd everyone feel about the show?" Remember? It was like the second episode, and we all did not say anything for a good second.
And then we hung up.
Well, it's like, I think whenever you throw out a group question, I think all the three of us don't know who's going to say something first.
Right.
And you don't want to be the one who gets called on first.
Or expresses some kind of
Opinion.
It was great. Mine was
better.
great.
It's better not to have an opinion. Yeah.
You got to commit to something. I'm going to say that I had a very nice Christmas with my family over Zoom.
Uh-huh.
Is that a new shirt?
It's just one that I haven't worn. I realized
I like it.
Last recording I wore a black shirt, and then I felt a little too floating
head.
So I just went with completely opposite. But yes, I had the Christmas was special. Felt good.
Go on. How so?
Oh, are we in checking in? We're
Not yet. No. We're just on Christmas right
This
now.
is
So-
Pre-checking
Don't
in?
blow it.
Wait,
Look,
but what if that was going to be someone's checking in?
Then I guess when we got to checking in, that person would be like, "I already spilled the beans. Sorry, I'm done." Go ahead, Joe. So tell us about Christmas. Why was it special?
Well, first of all, I do want to say I have to thank Sean for his gift. Sean actually got me something. It's a can of sardines, and I don't know if Sean remembers, but I think you gave this to me a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I still have it as a keepsake. And every now and then, I like to look on the back to the expiration date, which is March of 2013.
Yeah, I believe it was expired when we received them.
Did you get sardines too? I don't remember receiving sardines.
I always get Beach Cliff sardines because they're close to the edge without going over.
Great bargain. Sean, how did these end up in your apartment? Because I was trying to remember, because you did give this to me, but I don't even remember when.
What happened was at the end of 2013, I went bargain food shopping and just took anything that was out of date at any local store. So I got sardines. I got a lot of milk that I don't have anymore. And then a couple of bags of chips.
I actually, I Googled how long can the sardines in a can last. And it said 3 to 5 years. Now, granted, this is 7 years after it's past that.
Right. But I believe at the time I gave it to you, it was within that 3 to 5 year window. So I was not actively trying to kill you had you eaten them then.
No,
now I would be an accessory to murder in some way.
I bet they'd be fine. I bet you'd be fine. Please open them right now.
The answer actually is I actually.
The answer. What's the question?
No, I think how long can they last? That was the question that I Googled. How long can sardines last in the can? So, but some people were saying that if it's still sealed and it's canned, I mean it might still be. It's in water. That might, I don't know if that, maybe that helps instead of oil. But I just wanted to remind, I didn't know if you knew, Amber and Jamie, that I actually have this from Sean.
I recently, like last week, threw mine away because it felt weird to move to a new apartment.
Did you both get sardines?
Yeah, I think you did too.
I would have remembered. Or maybe I ate them because I did have a sardine phase for a while.
Did they taste a little off?
Not off, but just like out of date.
Right.
Here's the
it's a little old.
Sean, I certainly didn't think that you were doing anything nefarious, giving me expired sardines. But I don't.
That's good because that means I got away with it.
The master plan went according to your master plan. Look, I just think that I just remember. I don't know if it was that long ago that you gave it to me. I mean, did you actually just have them? You just had them in your cupboard?
No, I purchased them specifically 5 years earlier to keep them around in case sardines ever come up on the show.
I'm not going to get a straight answer from this.
This was, by the way, the case of the sardines was the worst Sherlock Holmes short story, when he was like, Watson, come quickly. Look at the date on this can. It's 3 years prior, Holmes.
I'm not over the fact that it's Joe, how was your Christmas?
I got sardines years ago. Yeah.
It doesn't seem to really correlate, but
right.
No, I mean,
it seems like you had that one in the chamber no matter what, Joe.
No, it's because I wanted to make it seem like Sean had gifted me this for Christmas. That's what I
see. How can I get to the sardines? How can I bridge to sardines?
No, look, you know what? It's because I was thinking about how I don't think we got each other anything for this holiday.
No, sir.
Not necessarily that was a solid LoShoPo tradition. But there were gifts at times. And so if you want, I will do a better job of connecting this by saying I saw it in my apartment and it made me think of being gifted something. And during this holiday time, I just felt like, this is something Sean gave me and I will never open it. And it is a can of sardines that'll follow me. I mean, Amber, I understand you can toss out, you're moving. It's a can of sardines.
I'm famously cold-hearted and unsentimental. So
now, how did you stumble across that can of sardines, Joe?
It is actually on my coffee table. It has a good layer of dust. I don't know if people can see that.
That's gross.
I believe that was there before I gave it to you.
Well,
there's dust on the dust.
I think it had a good primer, and now it's definitely. I mean, it's a Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of situation, probably. But I would say Anyway, this was not my entire Christmas, but this is something that made me think of giving and the LoShoPo.
Today's episode brought to you by Beach Cliff Sardines.
You know what I found that I find it every several months and almost throw it out, but it's a cigar that I think you got me, Sean. And I don't know what the shelf life is.
That expired in 1953.
Oh shit! But don't those age? I don't know if it's a
Google it, Jamie. Google if you can smoke it safely.
Watson, look closely. Observe all the foodstuffs in the kitchen. What do you notice? Why, they're all out of date, sir. Exactly, Watson.
Do you guys see the light? What is that called?
A lighthouse?
Thank you. I was going to say a light.
Yeah, it looks like a dick.
Light lamp. That's where I imagine Sean living.
Looks like a dick. It looks like it's a dick.
Like a barber shop.
It looks like it does have a little hat, a little Jimmy hat. But I imagine Sean living in that lighthouse one day.
Reading ship novels.
Reading his poo-poo ship novels.
All right. So, Joe, it sounds like your Christmas was great.
Well, no, I didn't know if
I get how it was a special Christmas.
No,
Low bar.
Oh my goodness! Look, I okay. I didn't know we were still checking in. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was still checking.
We haven't even started checking in yet.
No, that's
you just said. How was your Christmas? That's it.
Right. That's what I said. But that's what I said. I mean, I didn't know.
You said my Christmas was special. Here's some sardines from 2013.
And we're still here.
All right.
All right. Jamie, how was your Christmas? Do you celebrate Christmas? I know you're not, 100% on board with Christmas.
I'm not against Christmas. Let's make that clear.
You're not a part of the war on Christmas?
No. God bless Christmas. But I did not really do much. I went over to my parents' house, watched some Chef's Table, and came back home. There was not a wreath. There was not a tree. There was not a present exchange except the presence of each other. You know what?
Now you're doing like a Noel Coward thing with the word presents, right?
Yeah, a Noel Coward?
Yeah.
Like Noel, is that a Christmas reference?
No, he's a playwright.
Oh, right. I say right, but I've never heard the name. Don't know the reference at all.
Really?
Noel Coward. Never heard of Noel Coward. I mean, I could recite the beginning and end of Neil Simon's. What's the first movie? The Odd Couple.
Well, you really drove yourself down a dead end.
You're a different roommate than me, but ultimately our differences bring us together. I don't know. Is that what the Odd Couple?
It was very difficult growing up in Brighton Beach.
Oh yeah, Brighton Beach.
My older brother was somebody I always looked up to, but he never respected me. Go ahead, Jamie. So how was Christmas?
I found it interesting. I don't know if there's anywhere to go with this, but my dad has this like big collection of coins. And there was like a 30-minute period where my mom and I were on Google looking up if this 1944 wheat penny was possibly worth $150,000, which I think we determined it's worth maybe $5. But I don't know. I found it interesting. Like he had there's like tubes that you would put like with years on them. Like it didn't surprise me maybe that he had some coins, but like that there was like this level of
like organization
and like going to a place where they sell specific things to hold them.
And this was a thing you were not aware of?
No. Magnifying glass?
How did that come up? I mean, was it just you found them under the sardines on the coffee table?
Yeah, no. They were next to the sardines, and it was an open tin.
Ew, stinky.
With a chili oil.
No, seriously, how did you come to that?
They were out, and my parents were looking through them and said, "Would you look to see if this? I don't know. Use your internet skills to."
So, how big is the collection? If it was out, I guess I was picturing like a room of coins.
No. I mean, like a box.
The king is in his counting house.
He also found. I mean, they've been going through the garage and finding like old treasures and getting rid of stuff for the last couple months, but he has quite the baseball card collection as well. And I remember when I went through basketball, I was a basketball card collector when I really got into the NBA. And I feel like Sean might appreciate this, but it's like it takes me back to like 1992, 93. I'm really getting into basketball cards. But to see like the level of a card that I would put in plastic, it was like ridiculous. I didn't know enough about the NBA yet. So it's like any player that, averaged more than 16 points a game. And I was like, they must be good.
This is going to be worth $100 in 2 years.
So like 2 things of plastic with like Fat Lever. Fat Lever was a player.
It's a good name.
I think a good player, but like certainly not someone even then that you would have been like, gotta make sure these are mint.
Right.
Amy, was he a larger size general?
No, he was actually a thin guard.
Did he have an ability to move things that were larger than him?
Like a lever.
Like a lever. I mean, arguably, I can't really speak much on his. He wasn't like LeBron, who you could argue, like with his strength, get to the basket through anyone. But I do think his name might have been Lafayette, or that I could be making that up. So it's like Fat was but his dad was a lever.
Fat was short for Lafayette.
Is that true?
Yep.
Okay.
Decide, yes.
Anyway, that was my Christmas.
Lafayette, there's so many syllables you could go with. It's almost unfortunate that Fat was what was pulled out, Like.
But then I think of Lafayette and maybe New Orleans and like Fat Tuesday and like there could be like a celebratory kind of aspect to it.
He could have been Laugh Lever.
He could have
or
been
just La
Lever. Amber, how was your Christmas?
It's a sexy
magical.
No,
my Christmas is like. Wait, what?
No, I was going to say. I feel like now I feel like now you're all going through what I went through, which is we're doing a pre.
No, it's a trick. This is bullshit.
Checking in. But
a trick.
But
how was my Christmas? Well, I have an eraser right here.
No, it does feel like we're getting set up to do it wrong, no matter what.
And I did not grab a random thing. This has meaning. This is not an eraser.
I do want to know where this eraser came from. What are you erasing?
This eraser expired in 2013.
Don't eat it. Well, try eating it. Who knows?
All right. Let's get into the guts of the program.
My Christmas was good. How was your Christmas, Sean?
It was great. It was great. It was very nice. I spent some time on Zoom. I spent some time napping. Spent some more time on Zoom. And then I went to sleep. So basically it was sleeping and Zooming.
You did multiple family Zooms, different.
Yeah, I did. I talked about this, I think, a few weeks ago, but we did the family-wide Zoom call, which is, there's 21 people on the call. And it's just very hard to manage because there are certain patterns that have set in, which are, my dad observes, like he sees everything. Like his way of doing it would be like, what's that behind you, Joe? There's a thing behind you. Why is there a thing behind you? Amber, you have curtains. Jamie, there's a light there behind you, and there's a lamp under the light. Why is the lamp not connected to the light? It seems like so. That's my dad.
I have the family once a week Zoom, and my uncle's the same way. It's loving, but once I did the Zoom in my bedroom, and our ironing board is up against the wall in the bedroom because we don't have a lot of space. That's just where it is. And he was obsessed. It's been months. And he's like, it's nice not to see that ironing board. It's like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I mean, I find my dad to be an interesting guy, but there's just something, I don't know if it's that, he was born in the 1930s. So this technology still blows his mind. But the fact that he can sit at home and go, I see this. I see this. I see this. Why is your background different? You have a different background. Your name is not the same. Why is your name different? Do
you guys remember there used to be an old children's show where the host of the show was a woman, and she would hold up a mirror at the end of the show, but it had no glass, so she could just look through it. And she would say the names of kids. Do you guys remember that?
Romper Room? Was it Romper Room?
So that it's so that if obviously you're at home, you're the kid. She says your name. You felt like she was speaking right to you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But if she doesn't say your name, you're like, why is she calling me Claude?
No, those people become criminals because they weren't loved.
Right.
I don't remember that. I do remember that in the Bronx Zoo, in the House of Primates, which obviously is, monkeys and apes, all sorts of close relatives. They had a thing in the front where it said there was like a little box with bars over it that said the most dangerous primate. And then you look in and it's a mirror and you're like, whoa. Yeah. So that's something to look for the next time you go to the Bronx Zoo.
Just talking about family members asking things.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to hear this. She listens to the podcast. It is what it is. But on last night's Zoom, my mom was like, how come it's darker out where you are than where we are? And I'm like, I don't know how to answer that. I don't.
It has to do with the rotation of the Earth and the location of the sun.
I think I just have more light pollution because I'm in the city. But
no, it's odd. I watched a documentary thing yesterday that talked about how the light is different in different places. Well, it's not something I normally would think about, but
just south of us, like they're on the same time zone.
But even a time zone saying it's like you could have a different air, and you're just across the city.
Well, I think the other thing about
yeah, thanks. Wow.
Amber, the thing about lighting that you made me think of was how I think so many people have, myself included, had a conversation with their elderly relatives about how to light themselves, because like I've had to tell my mom, like, can you, if you put a lamp a little bit more in front of you, because there's only one light in the office that she's in and it just shines right down on her. And so then when we were trying to take a Christmas picture, I was like, see if you can get a small lamp. And she was like, they didn't have one, but yeah, it's not, Mom, order a ring light through Amazon. But then my aunt made me retake it because she was like, oh yeah, your mother is too dark. Like we see the two of us and she's not there. And so it's just, I mean, figuring out all these little things with your family. It's like, it's
a constant fucking nightmare. So we had, I know how you are. I know how it is for you, Joe. What a fucking nightmare. I get where you're coming from. So we did that. And then I had spoken a few weeks ago on this show about then doing like a hangout, like opening up a Zoom. So if anybody wanted to just stop by.
Like open house.
Yeah. It didn't have to be like everybody on at the same time where it tends to be dominated by just a few people. It was like, if anybody wants to stop by and go, hey, oh, look, Jamie's here. Let's talk to Jamie for a second. They could do that. So we did that. And it was good. It was better. It was like some of the kids showed up and participated in the conversation a little bit more than they would have if it was all adults, so that was nice. I also got a tree this year for the first time. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've never had a Christmas tree because I've never been here. I always go to my folks' house at Christmas time. I go back to New York. And even when I was living in New York, I would go to their place for Christmas for a few days. And so this year, for the first time, I went and bought a tree, which was nice. It's right over there. It's not lit up right now because I only have one extension cord, and I needed it for my fill light.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
But it was funny when I went to get it.
Photoshopped.
When I went to get a tree, I literally got the last tree that wasn't like, I don't know. They had ones that were purple and yellow and red, and I was like, that's disgusting. So there was one normal looking green tree, and I walked into the place, and the guy was like, what are you looking for? And I was like, I guess this one. So I was happy I got there because 2 minutes later, some people came in and they were very disappointed that there were no more regular Christmas trees, but I don't want that. I don't want those red, purple trees.
Where did you go?
Christmas trees are us on. I don't know what the name of it is. Highland and Franklin. It was just like a empty lot.
Like a pop-up thing.
Yeah, like an empty lot where they were selling trees.
Yeah.
So it all worked out.
Well, that's funny. That's like a lot, yeah. But something just woke up, and it's I think it's good ultimately for the show. I know in this moment we're in a weird spot, a really weird spot, unexpected, but I think ultimately it's going to be good for the show.
I think that, you know what, we're just in that energy between Christmas and New Year's, which is
Yes. Yes.
I did get a gift of a box of half and half. So, thank you for that. Whoever sent that.
It's Joe.
I literally did get a gift of oat milk.
Who got
All right.
it?
Well, speaking of oat milk, let's find out what's going on in the segment on the show that we like to call Checking In. Let's start today with Jamie.
Now we know what we're dealing with.
Yeah. Jamie, go ahead.
I did get my friend Vanessa, also my creative partner and business partner, but she's in Virginia. It's been quite a year, quite a month, quite a couple weeks. But she did send a care package, including oat milk, tapatio. There are about 10 items in it. But
what else besides oat milk and tapatio?
There's a queso situation. There was a Lindt chocolate bar. There was what else was in there? I forgot, but it was very sweet, unexpected grocery delivery, and so that was nice. I've watched a couple things. I watched. I don't know. It's the Bee Gees documentary, which I think it might be new. Because I've noticed a couple other people. So it's in the ether.
Yeah.
I really highly recommend the Bee Gees documentary on Amazon Prime or whatever it's on. It something that resonated with me is that Barry Gibb, who famously,
we're hearing it's HBO Max.
It's HBO Max?
Yes.
Okay. Really? Because I don't have HBO Max.
We always strive to get our corporate.
Maybe there might be more than one BG documentary, to be fair.
Yeah, I think
it's also available on Seaside Cliff.
Oh, interesting. They're diversifying.
Beach Cliff.
You just go to a lighthouse and watch it.
Yeah.
So, Captain, we've spotted the Bee Gees documentary off the port bow. We've got to turn the ship around or we'll run aground.
I think it's streaming. It's streaming on CISO, Jamie. Go ahead.
Oh, interesting.
It's Quibi. You have to watch it.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of.
It's been Quibied.
So I didn't realize what their history of what they were before they became kind of the more disco-y dance music vibe.
They were a punk band, no?
That might be the HBO Max version that I haven't seen. So, no, they were just more like a harmonizing English band, more out of the mold of a British rock at the time, and then they had a little bit more of a soulful vibe, and then so this is the moment they go to Miami to record this. They kind of they're trying to reinvent themselves, and they're getting more into the soulful music. They're starting to tap into the Miami vibes, and they want to spruce up this song. And they asked Barry, "Do you want to try doing a higher vocal to kind of take it out of here?"
And he's like, "I couldn't possibly."
And he's like,
"I don't know if that's a good idea."
There's no
Sean.
way I could do it.
Before then, there's no falsetto. There's not the
he invented it.
It came out of him unexpectedly. And I'm like, I'm searching for my falsetto, guys. I don't know where it is, but I know it's here. It's been a fucking lifelong journey. As I'm going through the same fucking loops that I've been going in for 10 years plus of Longshot, I'm like, the falsetto is here somewhere. I don't know how it's going to come out, But it really did truly inspire me, like that. This iconic part of who he was that like just kind of came out of him unexpectedly. He already had some success, and just to see that there's something more defined, I don't know. It gave me some hope last night. I'll tell you that much.
I gotta say, you have some pep in your step. Like something happened.
Well, it happened when, remember that awkward moment about 7 minutes ago?
Yeah, I loved it. It's my favorite.
I don't know what to attribute that to. But it's the same thing that happened, I think, the last time I recorded with you, where
Welcome back,
today I woke up. I could not fall asleep last night, going through the same loops. I'm in bed till noon.
What loops? What loops are you going through?
Oh, just dark places. What am I doing? With little glimmers of like, oh yes, I have all the answers. I don't know. The same shit. If you've listened to this podcast even once before, you got a sense of it. Huh?
So Immaculata?
Well, it's funny. I wasn't going to bring that up because in the shower today, I was like, it's time for Immaculata. Like, I had to get here before I went there.
Jamie, when you were in the shower and you said that, were you like clenching your fists or?
Was the shower on?
No.
I mean, but the water.
Just me and an IPA.
Well, I mean, like, Jamie, was it like head
There's got to be somewhere more comfortable to sit in the apartment.
Was it like head against the tile kind of shower, where you just rest your head and then it came to you?
I'm not I think in my life I've done a headrest in a shower, but maybe it's just this one's not too conducive for it. But which is a shout out to the headrest, but I want to be honest to the story. There wasn't that, and I could have just went with it, and I apologize. I should have.
No, you shouldn't have. No. It never works out when you do. You yes, and then you don't end. So
the sooth.
Right. Tell the sooth. Yeah.
Maybe the and maybe the and and the yes and is where my falsetto will come out one day. I don't know.
Jamie, remember when you talked about having that golden coin that you feel like is in your throat?
Yeah.
I think that's what's blocking the falsetto.
And your dad
100%.
collects coins.
Your dad needs the coin out of your throat to complete his collection of weekends.
I have to confront my dad.
That was an amazingly rocky road to get to that, but that was incredible, Amber. That's amazing.
Also thanks. And it all started listening to me, Joe.
It all started with 2013 Sardines.
That's not the show.
It all comes together.
Wow.
Anyway, the falsetto, I feel like 2021, I'm going to find it in a bigger way. The other one I watched last night was called Free Solo. I say that, but I think it was a big movie that maybe you guys have seen or aware of.
It's very, very popular. I didn't see it. I was too scared.
Right.
It's kind of about like an asshole that climbs rocks.
Yeah, isn't he just like a sociopath?
Kind of. I think it's nuts, and I'm very impressed by what he does. But yeah, I wanted to announce here. I'm going to try to scale that mountain in Yosemite in 2021, and I think I'm going to try to sing while I'm climbing.
Wait. Can't tell what's a bit and what isn't. I'm lost.
If you came in and said, I watched Free Solo last night and I am going to climb Half Dome with no ropes by myself, that would just be in line with basically everything you've said on the show before. I'm going to conduct an orchestra. I'm going to win an Olympic gold medal in figure skating. Like it just feels like you're always looking for the next thing. So it would not shock me. Now, you're not saying that, are you? You're not saying you're actually going to do that.
Like metaphorically, you're going to scale.
No, I was saying for
comedic
fun, for comedic purpose. But yeah, I could. I mean, maybe I could, but that's not the.
It doesn't seem like a big goal of yours.
I think just hiking to the top of like
a jungle
Runyon. It's like it might be
Griffith.
Griffith, yes. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It's been such a time, and I'm just
such a time. Meaning what? Like that's a neutral statement.
Yeah, I feel like it's like this year. It's such everyone's going through it, and but I've just reached the end of whatever this loop has been, of like whatever the last decade.
Not your rope, because free solo, no rope.
No rope. That's a good point. That is the dumbest thing ever to do that.
You just have to cling on to life like that guy does to the rock. It's just all in this kind of, right?
Or let go. I don't know. That's kind of a mixed metaphor.
I don't know. I didn't see it. Or let go.
Well, no, I guess you don't let go.
Wait
but
a second.
Let go of the fear to cling more. I don't know.
Oh, to get to the next one. Right.
It does. I mean, it really does feel like a slog of climbing this great mountain. And I mean, the metaphors are pretty sweet. Just
we're in deep. We're multiple metaphors deep now.
I know.
Jamie,
enter my brain.
Jamie, I don't know if you saw the last show, but I basically did exactly what you're talking about, which is I just kind of like purged all this pandemic, isolation feelings out, because it's like you haven't been on the show in like 2 weeks, so there's been a lot that's happened in that time. So I understand where you're coming from.
So you are where Joe was 2 weeks ago. So in 2 weeks, look in your Christmas stocking, and you may find a little surprise.
A little beacon of hope.
Straight from the cliff.
There is, I mean, speaking of cliffs, and it's since moved, but in San Francisco.
Captain, we've spotted Wonder Woman 1984 off the starboard bow.
Has anyone watched it? I just watched a review of it that was not very complimentary.
I haven't seen it, and yeah, I've heard not great things.
Mixed.
Do you know that? Remember the Museum de Mécanique? I'm sure I've spoken about it on the show at some point.
No.
It's a museum of old, kind of like turn of the last century video games, and like something you would find like on Coney Island in 19.
Right, like the old timey sort of machines.
Machines, you put a thing in. There's like, but it was
so not really video games.
Not at all a video game.
You make a wish to be big, and then.
Oh yeah, that's kind of there's that vibe for sure.
Right?
It's a magical museum, and since now it's like on Pier 39, I believe, but it used to be off the cliff, a cliff in San Francisco, up by kind of the Sunset District, and I don't know why I brought it up, other than it's very nostalgic for the nostalgia of the museum on the cliff. The museum on the cliff.
It is crazy to me how people get nostalgic for nostalgia,
I think it is a thing. I don't know what it says, but
that might be one of the loops you were talking about.
Yeah. You might want to get out of that.
It's if you can tell me how to get out of a fucking loop.
Take a seat in the shower and think your way out.
Oh no. I'm nostalgic for the nostalgia of the nostalgia now.
The best thing though is Jamie's not just someone who's sitting in a shower, but this is someone who can say to themselves, I will climb El Capitan or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I will climb a mountain. Jamie, if anything, that to me is, even if when you feel like right now you're at your lowest, you're still going to aspire to your highest,
I do see a higher ceiling. El Capitan, I think that is good call.
Yeah, I said that because Aaron put that in our.
Yeah, Aaron's making us.
Still, good call. Good call.
It really is. It was a good call to mention it, because I hadn't seen it, and I knew it was the name of an operating system for Macs, but I couldn't quite place it. I don't know if you guys know that.
So, Jamie, 2020 has been difficult for you, correct?
That's my checking in. That is my checking in. Yes.
I mean, that's been all of our checking ins for the past 3 weeks. So
yeah.
That's why I feel like even saying like, it's been a tough year is like ridiculous, because
But it's also, I hear what you're saying because it feels like the sky is blue, but it's also the truth. And not saying it is avoiding talking about it. Does that make sense?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do also, I mean, there's also the flip side. There's so much good. I think that's made it extra crunchy this year. It's like, there's like, I can see the next beautiful phase and I can taste it at times, but
It's so close yet
phase
so
of
far
what?
away.
Phase of what?
fucking humanity. Motherfucking
I feel like that's not what
humanity.
you were referring to.
Can we go back to Jamie, you describing the year as crunchy? Because I just think that right now...
Extra crunchy.
Well, I think it's been so interesting to watch. I've been taking in so much media of people talking about everything that you start to see what words they use to describe the year. And I watched Kristen Wiig. She hosted SNL recently, and she comes out and she does her monologue, and she says, "Well, we all know it's been an icky year," and I was like, "Icky? I would not have chosen icky." You know what I mean? But we're all
icky. Icky feels like it minimizes what's been going on.
Icky is like ew. I mean, crunchy, I kind of get, Jamie, just because maybe I think I know you, and I feel like that's something you would have used when you were like in 14 and growing up and like.
Is crunchy? Did I not say that last time and get the same reaction?
I feel like you said crunchy as though it was positive. Am I crazy? I felt like you were saying it's been a hard year, but there's been some crunchy parts.
No. Crunchy is the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
okay.
I think, yeah, he was saying this has been a crunchy year.
Yeah, that sounds hella NorCal.
Yeah. Bro.
I don't know where I did start using it a lot in the last year, but I don't know where I got it from. It's mostly like in like relationships, like things are a little bit crunchy between me and this person right now. I don't know.
Oh boy, here we go. Get into that, Jamie.
Oh, right. No.
Yeah.
I forgot. That is an underlying. I'm going to do my best Joe impression right now.
It's not great, but it's okay.
I'll take it.
El Capitan.
That's like my favorite flavor, I think.
LaCroix, you know about it?
Mm-hmm.
The curate?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? What is
cherry lime? Cherry lime.
Oh, cherry lime. Oh.
It's really good. LaCroix does it again. Anyway,
well, welcome back, Jamie. I mean,
I like being here. I'm glad to be here. I miss you guys.
Wait, you were gonna say something though. I didn't mean to take you off course about LaCroix.
Yeah, what were you gonna say? Just say it.
Oh, I wasn't gonna say anything.
Say the thing.
No.
What were you gonna say?
You don't want to say the thing?
It's very simple. That's what we have the podcast for, so people can come on and say the thing. It's your turn. Say the thing.
I think I said like 17 things.
Jamie said Jamie.
The falsetto's not quite there yet.
Oh, now we're back to the falsetto. That feels like a dodge.
You'll find it. But you want to move on from something that you had just experienced. So.
Yeah.
Right.
And a thing that's like, it's 90% there, but it's like,
right.
If that makes sense.
Oh, we're still.
It's like the hard part is done, but
the poor listeners.
Yeah, I have no idea. Poor listeners, I have no fucking idea what you're talking about right now.
Well, but here's the thing. I do think, Amber, that there are some listeners that kind of pick up
and can read between the lines.
Yeah, I feel like
all right, look, it's 90% there, but there are things that are crunchy. So we just want to make sure,
things are crunchy.
Yeah, they're still crunchy.
Just a little bit of crunch.
Hang in there, buddy.
All right. Well, then let's go. Let's move on from Jamie's checking in. Let's go next to Joe. Joe, checking in. What's going on?
All right. Well, I would love to get into my actual Christmas checking in. This year, since we were celebrating over Zoom, the plan was that we were all going to try to have the same traditional Christmas meal that we have each year, which are Colombian tamales, which are not like Mexican tamales. They are larger and wrapped in banana leaves, and they put in different things like chicken and pork and bacon and a carrot and an egg. It's like It's all put into this rice meal, and it's basically the size of a small pillow, like a nice little throw pillow wrapped in banana leaves. And so my mom said, "Why, you should see if you can order some," because they had, my mom and my aunt had ordered some already. And I said, "Okay, I'll start calling up some Colombian restaurants." And I found one that was relatively nearby my place here in downtown, and I called on Monday because I knew, a lot of these places
to get delivery on Thursday.
On Thursday, I called on Monday just to check in because I knew because it's a holiday meal that they were probably getting tons of orders.
And it's probably time consuming to make. I know traditional tamales are.
Yeah. Although I have now seen videos. I saw a great video of someone making Mexican tamales, and they were doing it. It was an older woman. She's obviously incredibly experienced. Yeah, it was so fast. It's like when you see like those Domino's guys do the boxes, but she was making tamales with like a special scraping thing. Anyway, so I called up the place on Monday to ask, which was, by the way, the first time I was speaking Spanish with anyone other than my mom or aunt in like over maybe a year. So I called them up and I asked, "Are you guys offering, these tamales, which are called tolimenses, because it comes from the region of Tolima in Colombia." So that's
Sir, why are you explaining this to me? I work here at the restaurant.
I make them.
Perdón.
I know where they come from.
Disculpe. And so I could tell that the lady on the other end of the line, first of all, it wasn't a great connection. Second of all, my ear is trained to my mom and my aunt's Spanish, so anybody else's conversational Spanish speed is just a little faster than I can catch. So between a bad connection, there was speed, and she seemed frantic, which is always like when you get somebody on the phone, So I asked, and she said, "Bueno, no sé." She was very indecisive. "No sé, puede ser que vamos a ver, es que no sé ahora, pero puede ser que mañana." And so I said, "Well, I'll call tomorrow." She said, "Call tomorrow morning." So I said, "Okay." So I called the next morning. Do you
understand where in Colombia they come from?
And so I called up, and this time I get somebody else, and I was talking to this gentleman, and he said, "No, we don't have any more left." So I said, "Okay, well, I'd like to order some other stuff. Should I put in the order now or wait until the 24th? You guys, I know you guys are open from 9 to 2 that day."
24.
And so I said, I asked, and he said, "No, you can order on the day of." Okay. Now I'm a little unsure of that. So on Wednesday, I call back and I say, "I'd like to put in an order for delivery tomorrow. I just want to make sure that the order goes through." And she starts taking my order.
Should have called 2 days ago. Sorry.
She starts taking my order, and then I go for delivery, and she says, "Oh, nosotros no hacemos delivery. We don't do delivery." And I'm looking at their website, at a little icon on their website that's a truck that says delivery. So I say, "Well, I'm looking at a little truck on your website that says delivery. I thought you did delivery." And then she explained, in again, really fast Spanish, bad connection, that they use delivery services like Uber Eats, Postmates.
That makes sense. Most places.
Right. They've signed up with those services. I thought they had their own delivery. So then I go, "Oh, okay. Well, so then that night, Wednesday night, the day before, I go, I'll use Postmates." So I call.
This is a fucking journey, by the way. I just want to say,
I'm telling you, no, this is the kind of checking in that we're used to, though.
This is like scaling the El Capitan.
No ropes.
You're trying to get one thing done. I mean, look, guys, all I was doing was reliving the same pressure I put on myself on Thanksgiving Day, which was, don't fuck this up. Order the Colombian food, make sure it gets to you so you can share it on Zoom with your family. And I finally get an order into another, because the first restaurant I called, They're not taking any orders. Postmates says this restaurant is not taking orders. I called up another one. I check on another restaurant.
Are you calling the restaurant now, or are you talking to Postmates?
Here's the thing. I go to Postmates first to see if the other restaurant uses it. They do. I put in an order. I call the restaurant. I get the voicemail.
Oh,
but
shit.
Postmates tells me that the order is in. And I haven't used this.
Que bueno. Que bueno.
No.
And then, of course, Amber knows where I was like, I can't take a nap. I can't pull myself out of this because I got to stay alert, check email, text, because this doesn't feel right. Why couldn't
you gotta have the whole team on this?
Bring. Hello, sir. It's Postmates. Just want to let you know everything's good. We'll call you back.
I had ordered it for 2:30.
What a strange call.
At 1 o'clock, I get a text. The restaurant did not accept the order. So I immediately try to call any other Colombian restaurant. And the problem is that they're mostly on the outskirts of LA. So anytime
cheaper rent.
Right. First I had to find them on the right food service delivery service. I had to find them on that.
Uber Eats.
Caviar, Postmates,
Joe's Food Delivery
to your area. Sorry, guys, you went a little glitchy on me. Sorry, but I was just saying.
You went glitchy on us.
I agree with Amber. I saw it the same way. But
I'll
go
take
ahead,
Joe's
Joe.
side for the sake of.
I'm sorry. That was
Jamie,
not,
you're lying right now.
I was not placing blame.
Joe, you faded out and froze for a second, but go ahead.
Way to blame us.
Yeah.
No. I was just describing it. I was not laying. Please, not fault at all. Okay, so it was me. My connection is unstable. My computer just told me. The thing was, all these other places did not deliver to my area. Too far. So. I know, Jamie, you weren't there for that episode. Amber and Sean, this would be especially for you. Thankfully, what came to the rescue?
Dennys.
America's Diner, baby. America's Diner, Denny's.
Do they do Colombian tamales? Because that would be impressive.
It's not on. It's not.
Imagine they do them, but they're from the wrong region in Colombia.
And Joe has to explain it to them.
Eastern Colombia.
They do it, but it's with one of those like bourbon sauce. They just drizzle over. I just felt like it was that one moment, of course, where I was like, I messed this up. I tried. So I texted my aunt. I explained to her. I ordered the Dennys. I had the Dennys with them. They had tamales. It was.
What did you get from Denny's this time? Same sort of meal as Thanksgiving?
No, I decided to go with something different. I got the prime rib bowl, which is chunks of prime rib on a bed of mashed potatoes and broccoli. Mashed potatoes with cheese, bacon.
Could you send another waiter over who describes things in a more appetizing way?
Chunks.
Wait, they are chunks. They're what's wrong with chunks?
Any other waiter?
What's wrong with chunks of prime rib?
It's a disgusting phrase. There's no way around it.
I don't know how to
I don't know if you want me to describe it, but sure.
No, I was about to say Aaron.
Chunks of prime rib, and then there's potatoes. They're mashed. They're sort of like regurgitated potatoes.
Wait a second, guys, please. I was just describing this simply. Maybe chunks is not the right word. Aaron suggested medallions. I wouldn't quite say they were medallions. I know what a medallion looks like. I wouldn't quite say it was like a medallion, but I would say they look more like chunks to me. But it was on a beautiful, a luscious, fluffy mashed potatoes with cheese and bacon in the mashed potatoes and broccoli combined with that in a bowl. And it was delicious.
Yum.
And you know what? It was one of those things where in that day when I texted my aunt and my mom and I explained it to them, they were
like chunks.
They're like
please, no, they got chunks. They were
medallion.
They were very understanding.
They suddenly turned Italian at the end.
They're called the medallions, huh?
Joe, we got the medallions. The medallions.
Oh. Anyway, they were very understanding, and I just had a wonderful night with them. We were on the Zoom. We ate. We chatted. We sang songs. We prayed the last night of the novena. And I just wanted to. I'll just end by we had taken a family photo a few days ago. 4 cards. My mom thought we can make something with card, and so my aunt. That's just the 3 of us there.
Cute.
And my aunt loves to just. She makes little appliques and glues it on. So she put the garlands there. Anyway, that's what it looks like when the 3 of us are on Zoom, and it was.
You look really happy.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, when I see them, it's just it just changes everything. So.
Appliques.
We did our best, and you know what? I just, like I've said before, I think on the show, I'm just really proud of them for, they haven't been intimidated by any of the technology, and they just, they're very appreciative of it, and it's my aunt's making jokes already about how my aunt is a little harder of hearing. My mom has a hearing aid. So whenever I try to talk to my aunt, I just keep leaning forward, and she would just started making fun of me. She was like, "You don't have to lean." She was like, "Don't lean forward. Don't lean forward so much. It looks ridiculous." She was like, "You look ridiculous." So
I love it.
Yeah. Anyway,
it also sounds like you exhausted every possibility of trying to get these.
Right, you definitely tried.
Like it's not like
I tried.
Yeah, you did your best, and the world was lined up against you in that respect. So,
Well, I mean, I think I can remember even before being on the show, and then since being on the show, so many of our check-ins are just trying to get something accomplished, and then
something like seemingly easy, but
and every little thing happens, and it made I knew it was going to be a tough day, and it was busy and everything, but. Right now, their attitude helped me because my aunt immediately said, "Oh, well, let's try for New Year's." And I was like, I'll probably fuck that up too. But still, it's another, at least it's another.
But I don't think you're fucking it up. It just sounds like the deck of cards, the cards are stacked against you in this respect.
Mm-hmm.
Based on where Colombian restaurants exist around LA, which apparently has to do with the cost of real estate.
According
Amber
to Amber
called it. Our real estate expert. I agree, Sean. I agree. I think I'm just trying to actually keep myself more conscious of any little thing like this. I'm like, you know what? Maybe try for the next time. Better planning. It's like how just because we're still in our own places, that much more focus goes to trying to whatever the action that you're taking, whatever the achievement is. And I was like, okay, for the next time, I'm going to be that much more aware, I mean, I knew I had Dennys in my back pocket, but,
Always.
I had chunks of prime rib in my back pocket.
It still hits me hard every time.
Yeah.
Big, juicy chunks of prime rib. So there you go.
Well, congratulations on your lovely Christmas dinner.
Thank you, Sean.
All right, why don't we take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll do some more checking in with the long shot come hell or high water. Hi, folks. Thanks for listening to The Long Shot. This is Sean, and I just wanted to remind you that I have a weekly newsletter that I send out. I have not sent one in several weeks, but I do it on a regular basis. It is a description of real-life events in a style that I hope is somewhat amusing, so entertainment purposes only. But subscribe to my newsletter. You can do that at my website, SeanConroy.com, and there's lots of other fun stuff to see there. the good thing about doing these things in between is that I can say whatever I want and plug my own stuff. All right, now back to our show. We are back. You are listening to The Long Shot. It is a podcast. We are doing it. You're listening to it, and so on and so forth endlessly hereafter. All right. Well, we're still in a part of the show that we call checking in. So let's check in now with Amber.
Sure. Yeah. My Christmas was nice. Thanks for asking.
That's great. I was curious about that.
No, I'm typically in LA on Christmas, and we have a tradition where we drive to Malibu and just take a walk on the beach because it's easy to get there. There isn't traffic. And we figured that was one tradition that we can still do. I mean, right. It's an outdoor activity. We wear masks. It's on the safer side of things. So that's what we did. It was actually more crowded than we're used to. I think because everyone else is in the same boat. Like usually LA empties out.
Did you guys hear what Amber and Jeff do? Let's do what Amber and Jeff do.
This would be the year to do it.
We can either climb El Capitan or go to Malibu.
Well, and it was warm. It was warm on Christmas. So there were some people just straight up swimming and stuff, like beach day. It was crazy. I think
at the beach? At the beach?
Yeah. I think they were...
Get out of town.
I think they were East Coasters because it's still not like...
Right.
Water is cold.
Water is cold.
Water is cold.
That's some cold water.
There was a dog there.
Sorry. I just want to stop for 1 second. Did you guys ever get that in the men's room? That's like an old men's room joke. Did you ever? Has anybody ever said that to you in the men's room? You go to the urinal and somebody goes, "Water's cold," and then they go, "Deep too." It's basically just saying I have a huge dick that's fallen into the urinal. Sorry, go ahead, Amber.
Wow. Masculinity is wild.
I'm the one who's saying it. For real.
The ball was picked up and thrown.
So the water's cold.
The water is cold. So there was a dog that I became obsessed with. There was a lot of dogs on the beach, but everything I'm saying is so stupid. Most of them, you know who they belong to. Like you could tell. There was one dog that was like having the time of its life. It would run full speed after birds. It would jump into the water sort of too deep. It would sort of body surf the waves. It was running both directions up and down the beach. And I was really captivated by this dog, but I also couldn't figure out who owned it.
I just pictured that dog coming out of body surfing and dancing with Patrick Swayze. Just like I'm having the time of my life.
I wouldn't put it past it, but because like there was a couple walking on the beach, and you're like, I thought, oh, maybe that's that dog, and they're just giving him a lot of freedom. But then the couple were long gone, and the dog was running the opposite way. Like I was looking around, and no one seemed concerned about this dog, and he was having a blast. He was having the best day ever. He was super happy, but there was one time he went a little too deep in the waves, and it took him longer to get out of the waves. And when he got out, he looked disoriented. And I was like, who owns you? Like,
this is great. I love it out here. I love it out here. I love it out here. I love oh God. Oh, I made it back. But that was scary. That was very scary.
Yes.
We guys know the obvious connection on Christmas.
Chucky.
Oh my goodness.
On Christmas.
Goodness.
Anyway, continue.
Chucky sounds like Chunky a little bit too.
Oh, it's true. It's that
Amber, you didn't feel like the dog was nervous because he was just like, who's that woman that just keeps staring at me while I'm trying to
No, he didn't give a shit. There was other dogs that came out, like people who own dogs.
Right.
And they would run into the water, and they would run to this dog to go play with him. And he was like, don't care about you. I've got the ocean and I've got birds. Like, he was very single.
This was like free dog. He's like
free dog.
Free dog.
He had a collar on though, but Jeff kept joking, like, is this our dog? Because we're moving on Friday to a place where we're allowed to have dogs. But anyway, it was clearly someone's dog. I just couldn't figure, like, usually context clues you could kind of figure out whose dog it was. Jeff was like, maybe it's just a local. Like, maybe he just lives in one of these houses and he just plays and then he goes back home.
I just hang out on the beach, man.
Yeah.
Once in a while, I join a drum circle. Occasionally, I go deposit some bottles at the store. But I'm living life, man.
Free dog.
Free solo.
So when we first parked at the beach, where we parked, we were on a beach cliff.
Oh, shit. Whoa. Cool.
And as we looked down, like, you walk a little path to get to the actual beach. There was a whole picnic setup with an umbrella and a chalkboard and wine glasses and pillows and blankets and the whole thing. And the chalkboard said, "Will you marry me?" And it was so cute, but nobody was around. It was just there by itself.
Was there any chalk there?
I don't know. We didn't.
I would have wrote not.
You not marry me?
Oh shit! No, sweetheart, come back.
Yes, 1,000 times yes. I will not marry you.
I will not.
God damn it! I should not have left the chalk here.
But we went for this long walk down the beach and we saw that free puppy and we saw starfish. Like, it was fun. We had a good time.
Did the starfish belong to anyone?
I don't think so. To himself, maybe the ocean.
Every once in a while I join a drum circle, but most of the time I live here on the bottom of the ocean.
It sounds like a very cultured starfish.
Look at me, I'm waving. Take my arm. I'll grow a new one. I don't care.
I don't care.
Are you getting any context clues?
Look at me. I'm eating a chunk of prime rib.
Ugh.
So gross. So we did all that. We weren't walking quickly was the point. We went for a long walk, slowly looking at stuff. And when we got back, I was like, I think it's about to happen, because I used context clues. there was a lady with a cell phone like this, really close to that area, and then a guy was walking down the beach wearing a mask, and like, he looked like a waiter or something. This all sounds like lies, but it's really true. And
excuse me, waiter.
Wait. What were the context clues to thinking that he might be a waiter? Did he have a vest, or was it?
Okay, now I'm like doubting my memory, but I feel like he had like a tray and like an apron.
Okay.
That's definitely the waiter. Why is he not listening to me? I just want to order some more prime rib chunks.
You don't remember?
Would a starfish eat a prime rib chunk by just crawling over it? Because isn't the mouth in the middle?
Yeah, I think so.
Is a starfish a fish? What is a starfish?
I don't question my own existence, all right?
Well, we don't know what it identifies as.
No, I'm just a starfish.
Right.
Is it a fish? Am I a star? I'm certainly a star.
Barnacle?
Oh, fuck yourself.
Fuck you.
It's definitely a sassy starfish.
I know.
I just want some more prime rib chunks.
So the waiter is walking down the beach, and the lady with the phone, like by the proposal site, is like, no.
Whoa.
No, like trying. Again, the waiter is very far down the beach, but she's trying her hardest to tell him not to come at this moment.
She is absolutely giving him the wave off, and I am trying to get some service, and he won't come near me.
Right. So I see all this, and I'm like, giddy up. Something's about to happen.
Wait, for the record, you were not on a horse on the beach about to save the day.
And I wasn't Kramer.
Did you say that out loud?
I think I probably did, Jamie. So we walked up the path. So we were on the beach cliff. And because, it was exactly where our car was. And I was just like, I'm going to stay here till it happens. That's what our Christmas is, because this sounds exciting and fun to watch. And it was a beautiful setup. But also what's fun is it's a beach. There's no doors. There's no, they could be coming from any direction at any point.
Right.
So anyone on the beach, I was like, is that them? Is that them? Is that
There's
them?
no privacy on the beach. I'm just here trying to masticate a prime rib chunk.
Well, it's not just, there's definitely no privacy, but there's also no, there's not a clear entrance and exit. It's amorphous. Sure. And
speak for yourself.
I am.
By the way, Amber, I love how you have become some kind of military team commander that's surveilling the area of we've got to be prepared. We've got to be prepared for them to come from any location, any direction.
Then, two women start walking in the same direction that the waiter was coming from, and they're holding hands. And I was like, I think we got it. I think Jeff, look alive. I think it's happening.
Look alive, and Jeff looks at you like, what am I supposed to do? Open my eyes wider?
I'm not involved in this.
And I was right. For the record, I was right. It was them. And so they're at the bottom of the cliff, so I can't hear anything, unfortunately. But I got to see the whole thing. One of the women got down on her knee, and they took off their glasses, and she was giving a long speech down there, and I started crying. It was great. It was wonderful.
Christmas miracle.
I like that they both took their glasses off. I think.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing because I couldn't see the woman with the cell phone anymore because she was at the bottom of the cliff. But I'm guessing she was probably giving directions. It will look better for the photo.
Guys, no four eyes in the picture, please.
Well, it was sunglasses. We need to see those emotions.
Oh, what? Yeah, what time of the day was it?
It was 3 p.m.
Nice afternoon.
Perfect time.
So did the waiter come over at that point?
No. And then we just left and we let them have their privacy. But yeah. And Jeff made me laugh because we got in the car. He's like, one of those guys looked like a girl. I'm like, which one?
So it was their dog.
No, I still don't know whose dog it was.
Chances are.
That's what I was going to say, Sean. I was like, well, what about Free Dog? Did we ever find out?
He became less interesting.
He was having the best day ever. But yeah.
Free Dog's looking at Amber like, oh, now what do I do? Get married on the beach? What am I, chopped liver?
Cartwheels? I'm giving you show your life. And it's not good enough?
What am I, not prime rib chunks?
Yeah, then we came home and did a lot of family Zooms like y'all and watched movies, and it was nice.
Any good movies?
We watched Bad Mom Santa. Nope. Nope. None of those words were correct.
Wait. No, yeah, I don't think it's Bad Mom Santa.
Are you talking about Throw Santa from the Train?
No, it's Bad Mom's Christmas. I don't know why I said Santa.
You meant Stop or My Santa Will Shoot.
And we watched Home Alone. And yeah, I mean, we've been watching a lot of Christmas.
That's a big Christmas one.
It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve. That was fun.
I heard that's pretty good.
It holds up.
I just read, this is just total random trivia. I just read that Steven Spielberg watches It's a Wonderful Life before he directs his next movie. It's just a movie that he watches to get ready because he just thinks it's such a perfect film.
It's good. I have such a negative connotation when it comes to Steven Spielberg now, unfortunately, because
from what?
The last time I was in the world, I literally the last day I was in the world, Steven Spielberg came and spoke at my work, and it was like a big to-do.
Oh, wow.
Sure.
And as I was sitting there, I was in so much pain. Just an incredible amount of pain. And I thought it
was it a thumbtack?
I thought it was gas, and I thought it was really embarrassing. But I was just like he was like, you know what? I can answer a few more questions. Like, he was being so generous and amazing. And I was like, wrap it up, buddy. Like, I was so uncomfortable.
Let's go, Stevie, baby.
Right. And then it turned out I had appendicitis, and I was hospitalized that night and had my appendix out. And then I was home at bed rest for 2 weeks. And then at the last day of my bed rest, the day I was going to go back to work, we got sent home for COVID. So that literally the last time I was in the world was Steven Spielberg gave me.
Oh, fuck you, yeah. Steven Spielberg.
Well, it's hard not to associate him with like tremendous amounts of pain, unfortunately.
Amber, you know what I thought you were going to say was, so I went home for bed rest for 2 weeks, and then I came back to the office, and Steven Spielberg was still talking, and then I said,
fuck you, man.
Okay, Steven, I think you got it all out.
He's just there, and he's like, and the next name on the list.
No, he was...
He just waited for Amber. You missed him.
He was so great. It was just because they wanted the whole company to be able to take part, that they set up these chairs very close to each other. And where we were sitting, so I just felt uncomfortable already. Like, when you're hyper aware of people near you, do you know what I mean? Like, tense. And we were deep in the row, so I couldn't just be like, oh, I'm just going to like run to the restroom. So I was in so much pain, and then like tense that I was in so much pain. Yeah, it was not great. It was not great. But at least I really was sick. I hate when I don't feel well, and then it's just like, nothing's wrong.
Right.
Like it was validating that something was wrong.
And that's an intense pain.
Oh, it was unreal. It was
It's funny because I had the same feeling when I thought, I also was like, boy, I really have bad gas right now.
Right.
And it was appendicitis. And it literally felt like it figuratively felt like I was being stabbed while I was going through that.
Well, I was after Stevie Spielberg was speaking, I still went to work because I'm also I'm a little bit of stoic in that sense. I'm not a big whiner. And so I was trying to work, and I couldn't. I was laying under my desk.
Yeah.
And Jeff and I carpool. And so people
motherfucker. And Steven Spielberg was in the back seat.
Right. And people were like, go home. And I was like, I can't. Like, Jeff and I drive together, and they're like, well, just take a lift. And I'm like, it was just easier today. I just gave him my keys with the car keys. So even if I took a lift, I don't have a key to get into my house right now. So I had to text him to convince him to leave work to come pick me up. It was like a whole thing.
That was back in March. So it was back in
March. It was in February, Joe.
Oh, February. Yes, sorry. Just
February 27th.
Just before. Right.
But yeah, it was also fun fact. I feel like I've talked about all of this on Sean's podcast, so I feel like I'm being redundant, but all of my organs are flipped. So no one suspected it was appendicitis even in the hospital until I got a CAT scan, because the pain was on the wrong side. Oh. Because all of my organs are on the wrong side. What
was fucked up is instead of a CAT scan, they had to give her a dog scan because of the organs being flipped.
What does that mean? Your organs are flipped?
Like, all of my organs are a mirror of how human beings are supposed to be.
Is that normal? Are you born like that?
You're born like that, and it is very rare.
That's really cool.
Jamie, that's what
that's cool. You should play the lotto.
That's what that Lady Gaga song is about. I believe.
Which I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not gonna do checking in, but I will say this: when I had appendicitis, it was so painful, and I couldn't eat anything. I mean, that was the other part of it. Is like I thought it was gas, but I also could not get food down my throat, and I was like, oh, this is weird. And I went to work for 3 days like that. I was teaching school at the time.
Did it burst?
No, but I was teaching junior high school. So the kids would leave the classroom and I would lock the door for 3 minutes and just lie on the desk in the back of the room and then open the door and let the next class in. And it was right at the end of the school year. So my boss at one point was like, hey, I need you to take all these. She had boxed up all the computers and she was like, I need you to carry these downstairs and put them in the storage closet. And I was like, no, I don't know if I can. I'm not. Yeah. And she was like, don't be a fucking baby. Come on. And so I did, you know, and it was
sounds like abusive.
Yeah, it was pretty, but anyway, that was the time I went to the hospital, or I didn't even have a doctor at that time. I went to like a clinic and they were like, just go wait in this room and take your shirt off and the doctor will be in shortly to see you. And I went into the room and took my shirt off and it was freezing cold. And I was there for a very long period of time. I would say at least 45 minutes, probably closer to an hour, with nobody coming in, but I could hear people going by on a regular basis. Like it sounded like a large group of people was sort of gathering in the next room. Like
coffee break situation?
Well, what ended up happening was finally after like 45 minutes, I heard over the loudspeaker, somebody was like, you know, Bob, please report to room B. Bob, please report to room B or whatever. And I see this guy kind of walking down the hallway and he sticks his head into the room next door and everybody goes, surprise, happy birthday to you. And it was a big fucking surprise party for one of the guys in the office. So while I'm dying in the other room, these guys are having cake and punch.
Oh my God.
And then the doctor came in and just literally poked me in the stomach. And I screamed and he was like, you need to go to surgery right now. Get to the hospital. And so anyway, they operated and it did not burst. I ended up.
That's good.
I'm still alive, as it turns out.
That's great.
Sometimes when you're put into a consultation room at the doctor, sometimes it just feels like, have they forgotten about me? Is this like a prank?
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
When you were describing the people in the next room, I was like, that'd be so fucked up if they were all just like, this guy's right next door.
Let's not help him.
It's freezing. We told him to take his shirt off. His nips are hard.
It's the shitty version of Punked where it's like somebody who's not famous and there's so many people involved in punking him that he never even meets. They're just in the other room.
And of course, the footage is of a hidden camera in your room where it's just a guy sitting there with
just frowning.
Yeah, I'm just going like, should I say something? What's going on?
He's still getting punked right now.
But that was also before. I'm guessing that when you had this procedure done, Amber, it was done laparoscopically.
Yes.
So mine was done before they had laparoscopic procedures, and what that means is, for Amber's, they just made a little incision and stuck a vacuum in there.
Yeah,
basically.
I have 3 scars, but they're all very little.
Right. So for mine, they had to cut my abdomen open and then staple it back together. So it was
first they had to put Sean out with a big wooden mallet.
Right. And then they pulled out a couple of chunks and threw them in a bowl. So it was a bowl of appendix chunks. And then
I was put that on mashed potatoes and broccoli. It is delicious.
I was in the emergency room overnight in Hollywood, and that was also pretty intense because they didn't have a surgeon available till the next morning. And I think I might have been the only person in the emergency room who didn't have a security guard outside my door. Like, it was just insane people drunk off their mind, like fighting with the nurses. And I was like, I'd like to go to the bathroom. There was one girl that was like so mean. She was telling everyone that she was going to sue them, and they were just like, we don't want you to die.
Yeah.
It's wild times.
And that was before all the nonsense that's going on now.
It was like there was like the whispers,
right.
like inklings. Like there was signs up that were like, if you have these symptoms, don't come to the emergency room, which I found confusing because it's like, then where do they go?
Yeah. You're dying.
But okay.
Yeah.
You said it was in Hollywood?
Yeah, it was at the Hollywood Kaiser.
Like
not to brag.
Holly weird.
Yeah. Well, I went to urgent care just because I was like, oh, my tummy hurts. Like I didn't know what it was. Right. And they put me on a shuttle to the hospital across the.
So you went to Kaiser Permanente?
Mm-hmm. That's my insurance.
Me too.
Mine is not good. I have Kaiser Temperamente.
I know that joke has been made on this podcast.
An oldie but a goodie. Got to dig it up once in a while. Any excuse. All right. Well, it's time for a segment on the show that we like to call Parting Shots. So why don't we start today with Jamie? Parting Shots, Jamie.
You know, I should have known it was coming.
Yeah. It usually does.
I'm going through sports podcasts.
Are you looking at them right now?
I'm just going through notes that I've written in the last week to see if there's a good I'm not enjoying it. I watched a show called The Good Lord Bird.
Oh, is that good?
I liked it.
Cool. Anything else?
Oh, maybe did I talk about this or not?
Sometimes the parting shot is a quick review of something.
Yeah,
just a recommendation. Right?
Yeah, you're right. Right. We're at that point. I do recommend it. Ethan Hawke, I think a really great performance. But there was a part where you can compare your heart to something, and it really just resonated. And live your best life. And
this is from the show?
No, this is just from me.
Oh, okay.
To live your best life. Yeah, I don't. I want to go out with such a thing.
No, Jamie, I have a quick question. Have you listened to any Bee Gees since you watched that documentary? I was just curious if you've been listening to the falsetto.
I finished it last night, and since this morning, I basically slept in, ate some food, and then we're here. So I haven't thrown it on yet.
I think you should listen to it, Jamie. I think if you keep hearing that falsetto, it could.
You were so inspired by the documentary that you have yet to listen to the Bee Gees.
Well, like I said, though, like it's been like a very just like when I look at the last few hours of the day, just including the hour before we started recording, where I showered, as I mentioned, and shaved, and so there hasn't been the opportunity yet. But I think I'm going to be getting in my car soon, and I think I will be listening to some Bee Gees.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's nice.
Thanks, and that's my parting shot. Oh. Done.
Your parting shot is you're going to listen to some. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Amber, parting shots.
Yeah, I've got two.
Great.
First one is a recommendation. I recently got like an Apple Plus trial. I think you guys were talking about different Apple Plus documentaries, and I didn't have it, but I have it now. Mm-hmm. And I started watching Ted Lasso, which is written. One of the writers is friend of the show, dear friend Jane Becker, and
I know Jane.
Yeah. I met Jane in your class. She is a friend of mine, but like outside of that, it is such a sweet show, such a funny show, such a charming show, and I'm so proud of her. And I recommend people watch it. It's great.
I'll second that, Amber. And I saw when it first aired, I saw that welling of love and adoration for it because it especially the tone.
Yeah.
And in the middle of all sweet. This, it made everyone feel better. And
it's like it's very comforting. Too. Yeah. It's comforting really, without being saccharine. I think.
And every character is both fleshed out and funny. And like every character.
Yeah. Agreed. My other parting shot was I'm going to see Jamie in an hour.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
My Christmas present to Jeff, I took him up on it. I rented Dynasty Typewriter. We're going to watch a movie tonight. So that's it.
Does Jamie know this, or is this a surprise? I sounded surprised.
I was guessing that's why he's getting in the car, but maybe I'm way off.
He's not going to be
just going in to listen to the Bee Gees. My stereo isn't working here. Yeah, I'm going to listen to Bee Gees on the way to seeing you.
That's so exciting.
And I was going to mention to bring a blanket.
Okay. I love that. I love blankets. But yeah, I think Jeff's mind was blown. He was like, I don't what? So that was like a good feeling.
Jamie,
all he wants is to watch a movie in a movie theater, and so we're doing it for Christmas.
What movie are you going to watch?
California Split. It's a 70s Elliot Gould movie.
Oh, did Neil Simon write that?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so.
That might be a Neil Simon connection. I just want to ask real quick, Jamie, is the theater a little chilly right now?
It can be.
Right.
The heater.
What gave it away, Joe? Bringing the suggestion to bring a blanket?
I just hadn't heard that before about going to see a movie.
You think Joe, one of them is maybe going to catch on fire and they need to put it out with the blanket, or?
You're on my team of surveillance. With
no blanket, no service.
So yeah, those are my parting shots.
Well, that's really cool.
I'm excited. Like I just haven't thought about it. It's always nice to see someone in the flesh.
Yeah, it's been a really insanely long time.
I just watched the end of The Long Goodbye, which is another 70s Elliot Gould movie, and it's just fucking funny to see Elliot Gould. And then I saw him on Friends, and it's a funny contrast.
Well,
he started getting cast in a lot of comedies in the last few years, actually.
Well, he was in all the Oceans movies, right?
Oh, right, yeah. Jeff's Instagram handle for years was Elliot Gould, was at Elliot Gould, because he thought it was funny because it's not Elliot Gould and he's never going to need it. But I guess
it was a different time, pre-pandemic, But
I guess Elliot Gould's PR team needed it back, and so they approached him. So we have a signed picture of Elliot Gould because that was his one stipulation.
That's so cool.
I'll give you the handle if I could have a signed picture. So
it'd be unfortunate if something happened to you if we don't get the Elliot Gould handle back. They threaten him. Elliot Gould's got people. Where is people?
Oh, it's Robert Altman, not who? Wait.
California.
But is it Neil Simon? No,
did he write it?
Joseph Walsh.
Altman was Long Goodbye as well.
Wow.
My bad.
All right, Joe. Parting shots.
My parting shot is Jamie mentioned getting a care package. I've also gotten a care package. I wanted to share one of the snacks that I got, which are these plantain chips. And I don't know I think you can read that. It says maduritos.
Mm-hmm.
And the word maduro means ripe. So when you make it maduritos, like the diminutive, I guess
it's a little bit ripe.
Yeah,
little ripeys.
I figured, the name of this in English would be ripeys.
Ah.
And connection.
Always crunchy.
Always
crunchy.
But in that context, it's a positive, not a negative.
Yeah, right. This has made the year a little better, a little crunchier in a good way. And then another real quick. I guess I've just been doing this. I feel like I just want to keep doing it, which is I have a picture to share. Another picture to share that I took recently. One thing that I've learned about myself during quarantine is that I am a hairy man, and
God. This already feels like a disaster.
I have never been so conscious of how much I shed. Like I shed hair.
Oh, God.
it's a natural. Sorry, Sean. It's a natural process, but I just shed a lot of.
Doesn't mean
hair.
it has to be shared with everybody.
No, I'm just saying something interesting about me that I put in a dating app bio or something like that.
Open with that.
A lot. Right. And I recently was cleaning and I found such an accumulation of my body hair. I think it's my body hair. I don't know. I don't have a free dog. I don't have a pet.
What is this picture gonna be? I'm so scared.
I know.
So I just thought I guess I just thought it was impressive. I thought that it was just so big. It's like, like the biggest
now
ball
take it down. Now take it down.
That photo is brilliant.
Take it down.
Really?
It's the grossest thing, but it's so well displayed that I can't not respect it.
It just okay. I'll take it.
It's like a friend.
Like the biggest ball. I love that Sean is like not looking at the screen. It's like the biggest ball of twine. I just felt like that kind of like, well, hey, I made this.
Where did you find this ball? Did you already say?
I was sweeping under like a credenza kind of.
And it was already in a ball form, or did you ball it?
It was like that. No, it was like that. And I picked it up gingerly with my hands.
They're finding each other.
I mean, it's full on tribble. Yeah, it is pretty tribbly. But anyway, it's just one of the things that for me personally, I'm having to embrace and accept about myself that it's just going to be a lot of hair. If I'm in the same place all day, that's where it accumulates. So.
Good to know.
I understand and commiserate with the experience of finding hair that is congregated.
You commiserate with the experience of finding hair?
I do.
All right. Anything else on your parting shots, Joe?
No, I just feel proud of the fact that I feel like I bookended by annoying Sean and then disgusting him at the end. From sardines to giant hair balls. So
well, it leads right into my parting shot, which is that I have not shaved my balls in several months now. So I just wanted to show you guys.
Whoa. That would get us demonetized on YouTube.
I just saw that today for the first time. Somebody who posted a video then posted underneath it demonetized. I didn't even know that was a thing, but we should figure out how to demonetize.
I'll monetize.
I was about to. I think, John, we might have already
figure out how to demonetize.
We might have already figured that along the way.
I think that was the mission of Long Shot Away.
If you want to demonetize something, bring the long shot.
Yeah.
Oh, I will. You know what? I'll say
demonetize is our middle name.
Sean, I don't know if you remember
long demonetized podcast.
But I'll plug people who listen to the show, rate and review on iTunes, because Sean made an announcement in the last show plugging because we're trying to recoup our reviews. So
yeah, we used to have hundreds. Now we have like 20, which is great. I appreciate that, but the more the better.
Sean recounted the story of how he was told we need to get we were shooting for 1,000.
And
it took us.
Jorge said in 2012, Jorge was like, let's try to get 1,000 by the end of 2012. And 9 years later, we had almost 500, I think. So.
And we've demonetized those.
And we demonetized them. Yeah.
And if you want to feel old, 2012, I could have still eaten those sardines probably.
Oh shit.
That's how long ago it was.
Well, I feel like sardines are always delicious, no matter when you eat them. Waiter, I still can't get any service.
I'll have the surf and the turf.
Okay. So parting shots. Speaking of surf and turf, I feel very lazy right now. Like nothing matters, like not doing anything. It doesn't matter. And yesterday, because it was Christmas, I had planned out. I was like, oh, I'm going to, cook up some chunks of prime rib and some, some
it's no good out of anyone's mouth.
Some Hanks broccoli. Anyway, I actually bragged to my nephews on the Zoom call earlier in the day. I was like, yeah, I got some shrimp in the fridge, and I got I got a not a prime rib, but what did I have? Oh, ribeye. I had a ribeye steak in there. And it got to be 7:00 last night, and I was like, I don't feel like cooking this shit. I'm just going to make some stuff I already have in the fridge. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I don't feel like doing anything, and everything feels purposeless, Like I should be writing more. I should be doing all sorts of things more.
It's the holidays, and it's a pandemic. So, like, I need you to be a little bit easier on yourself.
Right.
Yes.
I also feel like, this is a thing that's hit me pretty hard the last couple of days, is I feel like I should have stayed in Idaho with all that's going on in LA right now. It feels like being out in the middle of nowhere with no people around was a safer place to be.
Why did you come back? I'm sure you discussed that already, but
yeah, just go listen to last week's episode. And no, I felt like I had been up there a month. Yeah, rate and review, please.
Okay.
I just felt like I'd been up there a month, and that was a long time to be in these other people's lives, And so I felt like I should come back, and I actually texted them on Christmas just to say Merry Christmas, and they literally just texted back, "We think you should still be here." And I was like, "Yeah, I do too." It is crazy right now, the shit that's going on.
I think, Sean, it's like you probably would have felt that coming back from any place to this, because as we talked about it last week, it's just it's overwhelming, and it's I think there's something about I feel like just getting to I know people have made the joke of like, oh, January 1st, it's going to all be different, but these markers just mean more now, as far as just, I think, trying to keep going,
right?
That next big thing.
It's a light to move towards.
Well, Ted Cruz said it was all going to end on November 4th, right? I thought that was the. But
thank goodness he was wrong.
Yeah, I came out the other day. It might have been when I was going to buy my Christmas tree. I was going down in my car, and I was coming down the stairs from my apartment. You guys know how my setup is, that there's like the patio that everybody has to walk across below the stairs. And I'm coming down the stairs, and my neighbor comes up out of the mail area with a mask on, and she just starts going, "Go back up, go back up, go back up, go back up," like so panicked. And I feel like the human condition is such that when you hear that kind of fear in somebody else's voice, you're like, the fuck is happening? So I started to back. I figured probably she was just like concerned that we shouldn't come within any distance of each other. And I was like, that's fine. So I start to go back up the stairs. And she goes, "I have COVID. I have COVID. I have COVID." And I was like, great. So I went back up.
Shouting then, please.
Yeah, but also, like, why are you outside checking your mail if you are diagnosed with and contagious of COVID? Especially because the mail slot, which, as you know, has been robbed several times in my apartment building, is a confined space where it's like the ideal place to spread the virus. I mean, I understand you want your mail, but like,
you don't get your mail.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No. You're absolutely right.
You go out at 3 a.m.
Right. What if I just talk like this the rest of the time?
This is what anyone who lives in an apartment complex is dealing with, which is that you share a living space with other people. And we mentioned this before, you just don't know how those other people are going to be behaving. And
I appreciated the fact that she was willing to. I mean, she didn't need to panic like that and start screaming at me, and she did apologize via text later. But like, I was glad she was willing to tell me, but I was also like, what the fuck is wrong with you that you're outside walking around in a common space?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dipshit.
But I just listened to a Radio Lab about
oh, here we go with the Radio Lab.
I know.
Shit again.
But like the yes, transmission and literally volume that you speak.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
every decibel you speak louder, the more aerosol you're spitting out. Yeah. So her shouting was actually like the worst thing she could have done. But
she fucked up.
I just today at the mini mart, I was finishing buying my stuff, and a homeless guy was walking by, and he stopped, and I could tell that he was looking into the store. And the only way that I thought was most effective in the moment to communicate, please wait until I exit, was I just put out my hand.
Talk to the hand.
All right, high five, my man.
You want me to get closer and high five?
Yeah.
And but because same thing, Amber. I've been conscious too of like, that's why I was freaking out. I remember freaking out when I was seeing all pictures and videos of people yelling at each other, like at protests and stuff. Because I'm just like, yelling is one of the
exact worst thing.
Yeah, right. Well, and now, Sean, do you know where she lives in the complex?
I know. Well, I don't know specifically where she lives, but I am going to hunt down her apartment and try to figure out how to get in.
Why?
Just so I can tell her not to come out anymore. You know?
Can I get in there and talk to you face to face?
Sean
open the door. Don't open the door anymore.
Sean climbs in to yell at her, "You have COVID! You have COVID!"
But I mean, it's just frustrating that there is such a lack of, and this is somebody who was taking it seriously.
Right.
And still had a complete lack of self-awareness.
Right.
You know?
I just read somewhere that a doctor posted or a nurse posted that they had set up, you know how they're doing FaceTime things now for people in the rooms. And they were FaceTiming their family, and the family was at a Christmas gathering.
I saw that too. Yeah.
Yes, and
it's fucking insane.
Mind-boggling.
Yeah. Yeah, I try not to judge when I see people with photos of their families on sorry, I got stuck for a second. On Facebook. I see it more on Facebook where it's like, right. So happy to get the family together for Christmas. And it's like, you motherfucker.
This is not the right take, but also like, why post a picture? Like, if you're going to do it, at least have shame about it. At least hide it. I don't know.
Right.
All right. Well,
Merry Christmas.
I mean, could have been a lot worse. That's it. That's our show. That's the long shot.
Look, as long I think we're all in the same camp of, I would say to everyone, keep overreacting. Stay safe.
Definitely. Next time we have the podcast, it'll be 2021 and everything will be solved. So that'll be sick.
Oh, yeah. Let's go around and make New Year's resolutions.
Just surviving.
Keep living, baby. Keep living.
All right. Dog. Well, Jamie, anything? Parting shots, Jamie?
Yeah. I have a couple. And
folks, this has been the long shot.
Wait a second.
Got me.
I know. I was like,
seems familiar.
We will see you next time on the long shot. Thank you for listening.
Happy New Year.
And please stay safe.
Stay safe.
Bye-bye.